Los Angeles, widely recognized as the heart of the global entertainment industry, is undergoing a surprising transformation. A unique phenomenon has caught the attention of many: the rapid growth of the Muslim community in the city. This development has led to a compelling question: is Los Angeles on its way to becoming the largest Islamic hub in the United States? Historically, Islam in Los Angeles was practiced by a small number of immigrants from the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia. Finding a mosque or even halal food was once a challenge. However, over time, the number of mosques has increased, halal restaurants are now easier to find, and Islamic culture has started influencing the city's social fabric. The growth of the Muslim community in Los Angeles has been remarkable, especially in recent decades. Initially, Muslim immigrants arrived in the early 20th century, but their numbers remained small. The turning point came in 1952 with the establishment of the Islamic Center of California, ICC, one of the first Islamic centers in the city. This institution provided a space for worship, education, and social activities, laying the foundation for future generations. Over the years, more mosques, Islamic schools, and community organizations were established, strengthening the Muslim presence in Los Angeles. What's even more fascinating is that the Muslim population in the city is no longer limited to immigrants. Many African Americans and Latinos have also embraced Islam, contributing to its growth and diversity. In recent decades, this expansion has become more noticeable. While the Muslim community was once confined to specific neighborhoods, it has now spread across various regions. The number of mosques and Islamic centers has grown significantly, accommodating hundreds of thousands of worshippers. This trend continues to rise due to increasing immigration and the growing number of local converts. One of the key factors driving this phenomenon is immigration from Muslim-majority countries such as Pakistan, Iran, Egypt, Somalia, and Indonesia. However, immigration alone does not explain the rising interest in Islam among the local population. Many individuals have found Islam to be a source of peace and guidance, offering a structured way of life in today's fast-paced and often stressful world. Beyond immigration, another striking aspect of this transformation is the increasing number of Americans who have converted to Islam. This trend is not limited to the descendants of Muslim immigrants but includes people of diverse backgrounds: Native Americans, Latinos, and African Americans, many of whom previously had no direct connection to the religion. Many individuals who had no prior connection to Islam eventually developed an interest in its teachings. Some were drawn to it after reading the Quran and finding its message deeply meaningful in their lives. Others were inspired by Muslim colleagues at work, classmates in school, or the communities around them. The rise of social media and digital platforms has also played a major role in spreading awareness about Islam. Platforms like YouTube and online discussions have made it easier for people to access information about the religion. Muslim influencers and scholars have used these mediums to explain Islamic teachings in a way that is engaging and easy to understand. As the Muslim population in Los Angeles continues to grow, the presence of mosques and Islamic centers has expanded across the city. In the past, Muslims had to travel long distances to find a mosque, but now, numerous places of worship are available in various neighborhoods. Some of the well-known mosques in Los Angeles include the Islamic Center of Southern California, Umar ibn al-Khattab Mosque, and Bilal Mosque, among others. These mosques serve not only as places of worship but also as community hubs where educational programs and social initiatives are held. Many offer Arabic language courses, Quranic studies, and assistance programs for those in need. The increasing number of Muslims in Los Angeles has also influenced various aspects of daily life. One significant change is the availability of halal food. Previously, finding halal options was challenging, but today, many restaurants cater to the Muslim community by offering halal menus. Middle Eastern, South Asian, and even mainstream fast food chains have introduced halal-certified items, making it easier for Muslims to dine out. fashion trends in the city have also been influenced by Islamic values. More people can be seen wearing modest clothing, and Muslim designers have introduced styles that combine faith-based principles with modern trends. At the same time, Muslim leaders are actively engaged in social and political discussions, advocating for minority rights and fostering positive relationships between different communities. The involvement of Muslims in local government and public forums further highlights their growing role in shaping the city's identity. Decades ago, Islamic celebrations in Los Angeles were limited to small gatherings at mosques or community centers. However, with the increasing Muslim population, major Islamic holidays like Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha are now celebrated on a much larger scale. Thousands of people gather in open spaces to pray and participate in festivities, with many non-Muslims attending as well to learn more about Islamic traditions. Some schools and universities have even begun recognizing these holidays in their academic calendars, while certain businesses have introduced policies allowing Muslim employees to take time off for religious observances. The holy month of Ramadan has also gained more recognition in the city. Many restaurants now offer special meals for suhoor and iftar, and mosques organize educational sessions, night prayers, and community events. One particularly impactful initiative is Open Mosque Day, where Islamic centers invite the general public to visit and learn about Muslim culture and practices. Los Angeles, known for its deep roots in the entertainment industry, has also seen Muslim artists and public figures embracing their faith openly in recent years. Whether in music, film, or other creative fields, many have proudly expressed their identity, further contributing to the visibility of Islam in the city. Many Hollywood celebrities, such as Mahershala Ali, Ice Cube, and Dave Chappelle, have found peace in Islam and openly speak about their faith. The influence of Islam is also becoming more visible in the worlds of music and sports. Prominent Muslim athletes, like NBA star Kyrie Irving and UFC fighter Khabib Nurmagomedov, openly practice their faith and inspire young Muslims across America. They frequently share their prayers on social media, emphasize the importance of the 5 daily prayers, and highlight how Islam instills discipline and dedication in their professional lives. The fashion industry has also begun to embrace the influence of Islam. Several Muslim designers are gaining recognition at international fashion events, including Los Angeles Fashion Week. Their collections merge contemporary fashion with the principles of modesty in Islam, proving that Islamic identity can coexist with global fashion trends. Despite Islam's rapid growth in Los Angeles, the Muslim community continues to face challenges. One of the most significant obstacles is the lingering negative stigma, particularly after global events that have unfairly associated Muslims with controversy. Islamophobia remains a reality, especially for those who visibly express their faith by wearing the hijab or keeping a beard. Many Muslims still experience discrimination in workplaces, schools, and even in social settings. Another challenge is maintaining faith in a city as fast-paced and modern as Los Angeles. For many Muslims, staying consistent in their worship while surrounded by a liberal lifestyle can be difficult. Young Muslims, in particular, often struggle between adhering to their religious values and adapting to Western social norms. To address this, the Muslim community continues to strengthen the faith of its younger generation by offering Islamic education programs, regular study circles, and mentorship for those seeking guidance. A crucial challenge is increasing Muslim representation in social and political spheres. While progress has been made, there is still a gap in Muslim leadership within the government. However, as more Muslims gain the confidence to speak out about their faith and engage in public affairs, the hope is that they will become stronger representatives in fields such as education, politics, and media. Despite these challenges, the Muslim community in Los Angeles is gaining more support. Policies are being implemented to ensure that Muslim workers, students, and civil servants receive accommodations for prayer times. Halal food is becoming more available in public institutions, including schools and government offices. The city of Los Angeles is also actively promoting interfaith events to encourage understanding and tolerance among different religious communities. With the rapid growth of the Muslim population and Islam's increasing presence in social and cultural life, an important question arises: could Los Angeles become the leading Islamic hub in America? If the current trends continue, it is not impossible that in the coming decade, Los Angeles could emerge as one of the most significant centers of Islam in the United States, perhaps even in the entire Western world. However, much work remains in educating the public about Islam to eliminate misunderstandings and combat discrimination. As more Muslims take active roles in different fields and receive greater support from the government and society, the vision of Los Angeles as a major Islamic city in America no longer seems far-fetched. The growth of Islam in Los Angeles and worldwide continues to expand. The question remains: how can we contribute to spreading the peaceful message of Islam and building a stronger, united community? With the rising Muslim population, certain areas in Los Angeles have started developing as key Muslim community hubs. Previously, Muslims were scattered throughout the city without a distinct center, but now, some neighborhoods have begun to reflect a stronger Islamic presence. South Los Angeles, in particular, has become a focal point, featuring mosques, Islamic schools, halal restaurants, and Muslim cultural centers. Daily life in these areas increasingly mirrors Islamic values. Muslim families take their children to Islamic schools in the mornings, while business owners operate according to Sharia principles, ensuring halal food is available and refraining from selling alcohol. The Muslim community in Los Angeles has been growing steadily, not just in numbers but also in influence across various aspects of life. Some restaurants in the city have adopted dining concepts similar to those found in Muslim-majority countries, where communal tables encourage a sense of togetherness and unity. This reflects the strong social bonds within the Muslim community, which extend beyond business and education into daily interactions and social life. Each weekend, mosques in Los Angeles organize a variety of events, ranging from Islamic studies and Arabic language classes to social outreach programs. These gatherings often include non-Muslim residents, fostering a greater understanding of Islam. This trend highlights how Muslim communities in the city are becoming more established and influential. Some areas with a significant Arab presence have turned into central gathering points for Muslims. However, efforts continue to ensure that these communities remain inclusive and connected with the wider society. Muslim community leaders in Los Angeles actively work to strengthen relationships with other groups, ensuring that these areas are not just gathering places for Muslims, but also centers of outreach that contribute positively to society. The role of Muslim women in the city's Islamic growth is also significant. Contrary to common misconceptions, many Muslim women in Los Angeles are thriving in diverse fields, including academics, business, politics, and the entertainment industry. They maintain their religious identity with pride while playing a key role in strengthening the Muslim community's presence in America. An increasing number of Muslim women are engaged in social and religious initiatives, such as founding charities to assist the underprivileged, launching empowerment programs, and creating support networks for professional and personal growth. In academia, many Muslim lecturers and professors teach at prestigious institutions like UCLA and USC, where they contribute to broader discussions by incorporating Islamic perspectives. The business sector is also witnessing the success of Muslim women, particularly in industries like modest fashion and beauty. Many have launched brands that appeal not only to Muslim women but also to those seeking elegant and modest clothing options. Some of these brands are now making their way into mainstream fashion, gaining recognition at major events in Los Angeles. This progress demonstrates that Muslim women are not only contributing to their own community, but are also shaping a more inclusive perception of Islam. Los Angeles is often at the center of various social movements, including those advocating for human rights. The Muslim community in the city actively participates in efforts to promote social justice and support minority rights. In recent years, organizations have been at the forefront of combating Islamophobia, while also showing solidarity with other marginalized communities. Mosques have opened their doors for interfaith dialogues, creating spaces for mutual understanding and discussions on shared values. Environmental awareness is also growing within the Muslim community. Many mosques and halal restaurants are adopting sustainable practices, such as reducing plastic use and supporting renewable energy initiatives. This shift reflects a broader understanding of Islam as not just a religion, but a guiding principle for engaging with modern challenges. As the Muslim population continues to rise, the demand for Islamic education is increasing. Los Angeles now has numerous Islamic schools offering a balanced curriculum that combines academic subjects with religious education. Additionally, several universities have introduced Islamic studies programs, providing opportunities for both Muslim and non-Muslim students to explore Islamic history and its impact. UCLA, for example, has an Islamic Studies Center that conducts research on Islam's development in America. Beyond formal education, various organizations are offering online and in-person courses to assist those new to Islam in understanding its teachings. These initiatives are crucial in ensuring that future generations maintain a strong connection to their faith while navigating life in a diverse society. With all these developments, Los Angeles is emerging as a key center for Islam in the United States. The growth of the Muslim community is not only reflected in numbers but also in the way they have integrated into society while preserving their identity. Islam is no longer a silent minority in the city. Instead, it is becoming a visible and active part of Los Angeles's diverse cultural landscape. Whether this city will become one of the largest hubs for Islam in America remains to be seen, but its influence is undeniable. Dear friends, an extraordinary event has captivated Thailand and sent ripples across social media. 100 Buddhist monks, along with their students, have embraced Islam. This remarkable story has left many in awe, challenging long-standing beliefs and sparking deep discussions. These monks had dedicated their lives to Buddhist teachings, firmly rooted in their spiritual traditions. For them, even considering another faith, let alone questioning their own, was beyond imagination. However, their journey toward Islam began with a single, seemingly simple question. One day, a student approached a senior monk and inquired about Allah, the Creator. The response was immediate and stern. There is no God. The universe operates on its own. But what followed was a series of events that not only unsettled their convictions but also opened their hearts to a new truth. As they delved deeper into their spiritual reflections, unexpected occurrences led them to question the foundations of their faith. Gradually, they began to explore Islam with curiosity rather than skepticism. The more they learned, the more they found its message resonating with both their intellect and hearts. Over time, they embraced the oneness of Allah and the guidance brought by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. What happened next was truly transformative. These monks not only accepted Islam but also committed themselves to studying the Quran and Sunnah, eager to deepen their understanding of their newfound faith. Their conversion has inspired countless people across Thailand, demonstrating the profound impact of divine guidance and the universal message of Islam. But what exactly led to this extraordinary transformation? What was the pivotal moment that changed their lives forever? Stay with us as we uncover the fascinating journey of their spiritual awakening. In a remote Thai village, every household was home to at least 2 Buddhist monks. Deeply rooted in Buddhist traditions, this village maintained a strict policy. Outsiders were rarely welcomed, and Muslims were explicitly forbidden from entering. At the entrance, a large signboard warned, "No Muslims allowed." For years, this rule went unquestioned. The elders insisted it was necessary to protect their way of life. However, among the younger monks, curiosity began to stir. Why were Muslims not welcome? What made them so different? Were they really dangerous, or was there another reason behind this restriction? These unspoken questions lingered in their minds. The elders dismissed any inquiries, reinforcing old narratives about Muslims being a threat. But for some of the younger monks, this prohibition seemed unfair. Why fear those they had never even met? One afternoon, a group of students, aged 13 to 17, gathered near the signboard. They engaged in a quiet yet intense discussion, debating the reasoning behind this rule. "Maybe they are our enemies," one speculated. "Or perhaps they want to steal Buddha's teachings," another suggested. Their conversation grew more animated until a senior monk suddenly approached. A hush fell over the group, and they quickly bowed their heads in respect. What they didn't know was that this moment would mark the beginning of a journey that would change their lives forever. After exchanging pleasantries, the group of students cautiously asked their question, hoping for clarity. The senior monk's expression darkened, and he responded firmly. "Muslims are dangerous. Wherever they go, they bring nothing but destruction and chaos." He went on, recounting a story from over a century ago. "A Muslim once visited my great-grandfather. His words were so convincing that the whole village abandoned Buddhism to follow his ideas." The monk's voice was filled with disdain as he continued. "Muslims are sorcerers. They have a strange power to deceive, to manipulate minds and lead people astray. Anyone who engages with them is trapped in their web of lies." His words sent a chill through the group, leaving them deeply unsettled. Fear crept into their hearts as they imagined the threat posed by Muslims. Terrified, the students hurried back to the village, their curiosity momentarily overshadowed by the monk's grim warning. However, deep inside, the seeds of doubt had been planted, and a thirst for the truth had begun to grow. This encounter sparked an internal struggle within them, one that would ultimately lead them to question everything they had been taught. A few days later, Futhasak, a 90-year-old senior monk, fell critically ill. His body weakened to the point where it resembled lifeless stone. According to Buddhist teachings, a rare medicine must be prepared to cure him, one that could only be found in the city. Despite his frailty, Futhasak was determined to make the journey and asked young Samchai, a 17-year-old novice monk, to accompany him. This would be Samkai's first trip to the city. Having been raised within the traditions of the village, he had never ventured beyond its boundaries. Nervous yet excited, Samchai had no idea that this trip would be the catalyst for a life-changing transformation. As they made their way through the bustling streets, Samchai marveled at the vibrant chaos around him. The city was a whirlwind of unfamiliar sights, sounds, and movements. The streets were packed with people, vendors shouting to attract customers, and children playing in the background. Samchai felt overwhelmed by everything that seemed so new. Unbeknownst to him, this journey would expose him to a profound truth that would forever change his life. As they passed through a crowded market, Futhasak focused on selecting the ingredients for the medicine, leaving Samchai to wander. He found himself drawn to a stall filled with books. As he browsed, a loud, resonant sound echoed across the marketplace. "Allahu Akbar!" The call to prayer, the adhan, reached Samkai's ears for the very first time. Though he didn't understand the words, the melody and rhythm struck a deep chord within him. It brought a sense of peace he had never known, and in that moment, something within him began to stir. Unable to resist, Samchai followed the sound, slipping quietly away from Futhasak, who remained unaware of his absence. As he moved toward the voice, he saw people walking toward a building with tall minarets. The men were reciting something in unison, and Samkai's heart raced with curiosity as he followed them, unsure of what he might discover. When he arrived at the source, he saw Muslims gathering outside a mosque, preparing for prayer. Samchai stood transfixed, observing their unity and devotion. "What kind of meditation is this?" he whispered to himself. The sight of people calmly washing their hands and faces, then standing shoulder to shoulder in prayer, filled him with awe. It was unlike anything he had ever experienced. Samchai lingered for a while, mesmerized by the tranquility radiating from the worshippers. Yet as he stood there, a sense of fear crept into his heart. He remembered the warnings about Muslims being dangerous. Battling his emotions, he hesitantly made his way back to Nirvana, knowing this encounter was just the beginning of his journey into the unknown. Drawn by the mesmerizing call to prayer, Samchai found himself standing at the entrance of the mosque. He hesitated briefly before taking a step inside, curiosity overcoming his fear. The sight before him was unlike anything he could have imagined. Rows of worshippers knelt in unison, their foreheads touching the ground, and a serene silence filled the space. "What kind of meditation is this?" Samchai whispered, overwhelmed by the peaceful energy in the room. The harmony of the worshippers, standing, bowing, and prostrating in synchronized rhythm, captivated him. A middle-aged Muslim man, Ahmad, noticed Samchai's wide-eyed amazement and approached him kindly. "Are you curious about what we are doing?" the man asked. Samchai hesitated, then nodded. Ahmad smiled and explained, "This is Salah, our prayer to Allah, the one true Creator. We perform this 5 times a day to express our devotion and gratitude." Samchai listened intently, but his fears resurfaced. You must be sorcerers," he stammered. "This must be some kind of magic that has drawn me here. I need to leave." His voice trembled as he turned to go, but Ahmad gently smiled and said, "There is no magic here, young man. Only the peace of Islam. The world has misled you about us. If you truly want to understand, read our books and see for yourself." Shaken but intrigued, Samchai hurried back to Nirvana, his mind racing. He vowed to keep this encounter a secret, knowing the consequences if his mentor found out. Deep inside, however, Samchai felt an unshakable pull toward the tranquility he had witnessed. This feeling would continue to haunt him and guide him on his path. When Samchai returned to Nirvana, he quietly thanked his stars that the senior monk hadn't noticed his absence. As Nirvana continued purchasing items, they passed by a bookstall filled with religious texts. Nirvana stopped to browse through books on Buddhism, engrossed in selecting works that aligned with their teachings. However, Samchai's attention was drawn elsewhere. Among the collection, his gaze fell on a set of books about Islam, and one title in particular caught his eye. The intrigue that had ignited in Samchai after his visit to the mosque grew stronger with each passing day. His curiosity about Islam deepened, and one evening, when Futtasak was distracted by his purchases, Samchai gathered the courage to discreetly pick up a book on Islam. He paid for it quickly and concealed it under his robe before rejoining Futtasak. As they journeyed back to the village, Samchai's thoughts were consumed with the new book he had acquired. What is Islam truly about? He wondered. Upon returning to the village, he carefully hid the book in his quarters, knowing the consequences would be severe if anyone discovered it, especially Futtasak. Despite the risks, Samchai's determination to understand Islam only grew stronger. Later that night, as the village fell silent, Samchai sat alone with the book under the soft glow of a lantern. Each page revealed new ideas that felt like a revelation to him, concepts like the oneness of Allah, the purpose of life, and the practices of worship. For Samchai, this marked the start of an internal journey, one that would challenge his deeply held beliefs and transform his understanding of the world. From that moment, Samchai's nights took on a new rhythm. After finishing his evening meditation with the other monks, he would retreat to his quarters, waiting for the village to quiet down. Once everything was still, he would take out the book and immerse himself in its teachings. The more he read, the more he felt a connection to something greater than himself. One night, as Samchai was engrossed in reading, a few of his friends stumbled upon him. Panicked, he quickly tried to hide the book, but it was too late. His friends, curious about what he was reading, asked him about it. Hesitant at first, Samchai finally confessed, "This book is unlike anything I've read before. It speaks of a creator and a way of life that feels profound." Rather than reporting him, his friends expressed interest in seeing the book. Together, they began reading it in secret. Over time, their curiosity deepened, and they found themselves captivated by the teachings. The more they read, the more they compared Buddhism with Islam, noting the differences in their teachings. While Buddhism focused on enlightenment through self-discipline, it lacked the concept of a creator. Islam, on the other hand, presented a comprehensive way of life, emphasizing the worship of one God and the guidance of the 124,000 prophets. The stories of the prophets fascinated Samchai, sparking a strong desire to learn more. Driven by this thirst for knowledge, he decided to take another risk. One day, he traveled back to the city, claiming it was for a routine errand. There, he purchased another book that delved deeper into the lives of the prophets. As he made his way back to the village, clutching the new book, Samchai knew his journey of discovery had only just begun. As Samchai continued to explore the teachings of Islam, the depth and clarity of its principles led him to question the foundation of Buddhism. What had once seemed profound now appeared shallow in comparison. Over the course of 6 months, Samchai and his close group of 5 friends became increasingly absorbed in their studies of Islam, often to the point of neglecting their monk duties. Despite the risk of severe punishment, they could not deny the truth they were uncovering. One evening, after much deliberation, Samchai and his friends gathered in a secluded area, ready to make a life-changing decision. They declared their faith in one God, Allah, and pledged to never associate partners with him. Together, they embraced Islam, choosing to leave behind their old ways and find refuge outside the monastery. They knew they couldn't keep their newfound faith a secret forever. As time went on, they began inviting other monks to learn about Islam, sharing their experiences and emphasizing the peace and fulfillment they had discovered. To their surprise, many younger monks expressed interest and secretly joined their gatherings, eager to learn more. One day, as Samchai and his friends were reciting verses from the Quran, an elder monk, who was a close confidant of Nirvana, unexpectedly walked in on them. He was taken aback by the sight of 10 young monks gathered around the Quran. Fear gripped Samchai and his friends as they prepared for the worst, knowing that this encounter could change everything, for better or for worse. The elder monk, visibly enraged, confronted them. "How dare you read these books? If Nirvana finds out, he will have you punished, possibly even killed," he warned. Gathering his courage, Samchai respectfully replied, "We only ask that you read these books for yourself. Islam is not magic or deception, it is a religion of peace. Let its words speak for themselves." Skeptical but intrigued, the elder monk reluctantly took one of the Islamic books and began reading, determined to disprove them. But as he delved into the pages, his anger gradually gave way to curiosity, and then to amazement. The teachings resonated with him, challenging his preconceived notions about life and faith. Over the next few days, the elder monk continued reading, frequently questioning Samchai and his friends for clarification. Slowly but surely, his resistance began to fade. Eventually, he embraced Islam. His conversion sent shockwaves through the monastery, encouraging more monks to explore the religion. The ripple effect of this one transformation highlighted the universal appeal of Islam's teachings. When Nirvana became aware of the growing number of converts, his anger flared. He summoned Samchai, accusing him of leading the monks astray. "I made a grave mistake bringing you here," he shouted. "You've poisoned the minds of our people. I will execute you in the name of our teachings." However, Samchai's supporters, now numbering over 80 monks, stood in defiance. Among them was Nirvana's closest confidant, who had also embraced Islam. "If you wish to harm Samchai," they declared, "you must first go through us." The standoff brought the entire village to a standstill. In a dramatic turn, Nirvana agreed to read the Islamic text himself, confident that they would not sway him. "I will prove to you all that these are mere illusions," he proclaimed. The entire village gathered to watch as Nirvana began reading aloud from the Quran and other Islamic texts. What followed was extraordinary. As he read, Nirvana's demeanor slowly began to change. The words resonated with him in a way he had never experienced. The teachings provided answers to questions that had plagued him for years. His anger and defiance faded into deep introspection. By the time he finished, Nirvana was a changed man. Standing before the gathered monks and villagers, he declared, "I was wrong. The peace and clarity I sought in Buddhism, I have now found here." With tears in his eyes, Nirvana embraced Islam, taking the Shahada in front of everyone. His conversion sparked a powerful ripple effect. Over 300 villagers, including the remaining monks, followed his example and embraced Islam. The news spread quickly through social media, touching the hearts of people around the world. The once quiet, isolated village became a beacon of faith. Its people, now united in their belief, dedicated themselves to learning and practicing Islam under the guidance of scholars. The harmony and unity that defined the village stood as a testament to the transformative power of faith. At the center of it all was Samchai, the young monk whose curiosity and courage had sparked this incredible journey. His unwavering determination had illuminated the path for a village once shrouded in ignorance. Truly, guidance comes to those who seek it with an open heart. A respected judge, known for his fairness and integrity, stands in court every day delivering justice. But what happens when he himself is put on trial, not by the law, but by his own heart? A single encounter changes everything, leading him on a path he never expected, toward Islam. This is the true story of a man who sought justice in the courtroom but found peace in his soul. On an ordinary day in a bustling city filled with the noise of life, Judge Daniel, an experienced high court judge, was preparing for an important hearing. Having served for over 20 years, he was known for his firmness and exceptional integrity. Over the years, he had presided over numerous cases, from minor disputes to the most complex trials. However, one particular case was about to change his life forever. Daniel was a devout Christian, raised in a deeply religious family where faith was the foundation of his life. He attended church every week, prayed diligently, and followed his religious teachings with unwavering conviction. Yet, despite his devotion, he often felt a void within, a sense of emptiness he couldn't quite explain. That day, the case before him was a divorce proceeding involving a Muslim man named Ahmed. Ahmed was a calm and patient individual who spoke to the judge with great respect. Despite the emotional weight of the divorce, he showed no signs of anger or frustration. He admitted that his marriage had failed but was determined to handle the legal process with dignity and peace. What struck Daniel was not the divorce itself but the extraordinary composure Ahmed displayed throughout the trial. Daniel observed him closely, captivated by the strength behind his words. Rather than expressing bitterness or resentment, Ahmed spoke with wisdom and acceptance. "I believe everything that happens is part of God's plan," Ahmed said. "I do not hate my wife. I just want to resolve this matter in a way that aligns with Islamic teachings." That statement resonated deeply with Daniel. He couldn't understand how someone facing such a difficult trial could remain so composed and wise. This sparked a curiosity in him. Was there a belief or teaching that could grant such inner peace? The trial proceeded, and in the end, the divorce was granted. Yet, even after the case was closed, Daniel felt compelled to speak with Ahmed further. He wanted to learn more about the faith that had given Ahmed such tranquility in the face of adversity. In their conversations, Ahmed never pressured, criticized, or attempted to convert Daniel. Instead, he simply shared his experiences and the teachings of Islam. Islam teaches peace, patience, and acceptance of fate, Ahmed explained. It encourages us to maintain a strong relationship with God, and through that connection, we find inner peace even in life's greatest trials. Over the following weeks, Daniel's curiosity deepened. He began reading books about Islam, studying its teachings, and even visiting a mosque to attend religious lectures. He was surprised to discover many similarities between Islam and the values he held in his own faith: compassion, justice, and peace. However, the concept that intrigued him the most was trust in Allah, placing complete trust in God. As Daniel continued his exploration, he realized that the peace he had been searching for all his life was right in front of him. Day by day, the unanswered questions within him started finding resolution. He felt a transformation within himself, a profound sense of calm he had never experienced before. Gradually, his convictions and his previous beliefs began to waver, and his heart opened to the possibility that Islam might be the path he was meant to follow. One night, after deep reflection and prayer in solitude, Daniel reached a moment of absolute clarity. He knew that the next step in his journey was to embrace Islam. Realizing that his decision was not made suddenly but rather the result of a long spiritual journey, Daniel contacted Ahmed and expressed his intention to convert to Islam. That day, in front of an imam and several friends, Daniel recited the testimony of faith with a sincere heart. He felt as though the burdens that had weighed heavily on him were lifted. Although this transition was not easy, especially facing the reactions of his family and friends who were shocked by his decision, he still felt at peace. He knew that this was the right step in his search for truth and spiritual fulfillment. His story became well known among his colleagues, inspiring many who heard about his journey. As a judge, Daniel continued to carry out his duties with integrity and justice, but now with a broader and deeper perspective. He no longer saw the law merely from a human standpoint, but also sought to understand the greater law of God. His journey from a Christian judge to a Muslim became a powerful reminder that true spiritual seeking can take unexpected paths and lead to eternal peace. After embracing Islam, Daniel's life changed in ways he never imagined. Although he felt closer to God, he also faced significant challenges. One of the hardest was the reaction from his family, particularly his parents. They were deeply disappointed and even angry about his decision to leave Christianity, which they believed to be the true faith. His mother, a devout woman active in the church, was especially heartbroken. "What are you doing, Daniel? This isn't just about religion. It's about our family, our traditions, and what we've believed for so long," she exclaimed emotionally when she first learned of his decision. Despite the pain and anxiety from his family, Daniel remained firm in his choice. He knew that his spiritual journey was a personal matter between him and God, and he could not turn back simply due to external pressure. He tried to explain to his family that his decision was not driven by hatred for Christianity, but by his sincere search for a deeper truth. He spoke with love, sharing his experiences and the peace he had found in Islam. While some of his family members began to open their hearts, others could not accept his choice. His father, a stubborn and firm man, even urged Daniel to reconsider, worried about how it would affect their family's reputation. The pressure was immense, but Daniel remained steadfast, praying that one day his family would understand and accept his path. At work, Daniel's conversion was also met with varied reactions. As a well-known judge, he had to navigate different opinions and even criticism from colleagues. Some saw his decision as radical, while others were curious and sought to understand his perspective. Some mocked him, claiming he had been overly influenced by a single case, while others respected his pursuit of spiritual fulfillment. However, Daniel refused to live under the weight of others' opinions. He remained professional in the courtroom, ensuring that his religious views did not interfere with his duties. In fact, Islam gave him an even deeper sense of peace and patience in his work. He approached each case with a more open heart, seeking true justice with wisdom and integrity. The greatest challenge came when Daniel was faced with an emotional case, a young man accused in a fatal accident. This trial would test not only his legal expertise but also his newfound faith. The victim's family demanded severe punishment, while the young man, who came from a humble background, was visibly remorseful for his actions. As a judge, Daniel faced a difficult decision. However, his perspective had evolved. He no longer viewed cases solely through a legal lens but also through the principles of compassion and mercy that Islam had taught him. During the trial, Daniel felt the weight of his moral responsibility. He understood that justice had to be served, yet he also believed in leaving room for redemption and forgiveness. In the end, he chose a more balanced approach, imposing a lighter sentence on the condition that the young man undergo rehabilitation and work towards becoming a better person. The decision surprised many, including his colleagues in the courtroom, but Daniel stood by it. He knew it was not just the most legally sound decision, but also the most humane. That night, as he returned home, Daniel prayed to Allah, expressing gratitude for the strength to judge with sincerity and fairness. He asked for peace, not just for himself, but for his family, hoping that one day they would accept his choice. With each passing day, Daniel grew more comfortable in his new faith. He immersed himself in studying Islam, reading the Quran, and attending mosque discussions. Every moment felt like an opportunity to strengthen his connection with Allah and refine his character. There was a deep sense of peace within him, one that he had never experienced before. Several months later, Daniel received an unexpected visit from his mother. Tears filled her eyes as she spoke. "I don't understand everything, Daniel," she admitted. "But I see a change in you. You're more peaceful, more patient, more kind. I may not fully accept your decision, but I want you to know that I respect your right to live according to your beliefs." Hearing those words, Daniel felt a wave of emotion. His spiritual journey had not been easy, and there were still differences between him and his family. But love and understanding had begun to bridge the gap. His story soon became an inspiration to many, especially those struggling with their own spiritual paths. Daniel proved that the search for truth could be challenging, but staying true to one's heart, upholding justice, and finding inner peace were what truly mattered. Years passed, and Daniel's transformation became an inseparable part of his identity. Though some friends and family members still wrestled with his decision, they couldn't deny the positive changes in him. Some even became curious about Islam and began asking questions, slowly opening their hearts to understanding. One evening, while praying at the mosque, Daniel experienced an overwhelming sense of serenity. He realized that the peace he had been searching for all his life had finally found him. There was no longer any doubt in his heart. He knew he had made the right choice. In that quiet moment, surrounded by the stillness of the mosque, he felt closer to God than ever before. Not long after, Daniel decided to share his story with the world. He began writing a book detailing his journey, his search for truth, the struggles he had faced, and the profound peace he had discovered in Islam. Daniel's book became an inspiration to many, especially those searching for meaning and purpose in life. His story touched countless hearts, offering hope to those trapped in confusion or doubt. On one occasion, while addressing an audience, Daniel shared a profound message. "Our life journey is ultimately a journey toward peace. True peace cannot be granted by anyone except through a sincere relationship with God and with others. Only by striving to keep our hearts pure and sincere can we discover the true essence of peace." Over time, Daniel's story evolved beyond that of a judge embracing Islam. It became a universal tale of seeking truth and finding inner peace. His journey resonated with people from all walks of life, regardless of their religious beliefs. He continued to live with gratitude, embracing wisdom and striving to uphold justice and compassion in every aspect of his life. Though challenges remained, Daniel knew he had chosen the right path. He had found the peace he had long searched for, and more than that, he had become a better, more patient, and more loving person through the teachings he now followed. In the end, Daniel's story was not just about conversion. It was a story of faith, transformation, and the pursuit of eternal peace. Some journeys are not just about reaching a destination, but about finding true peace within. Daniel's story is a reminder that seeking truth is a path of courage, patience, and faith. No matter where you start, sincerity will always lead you to the right path. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Until next time, stay blessed and keep seeking the truth.